this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
With no fees or minimums on checking accounts, it's no wonder that Capital One Bank Guy is so passionate about banking with Capital One. If he were here, he wouldn't just tell you about no fees or minimums. He'd also tell you about how Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week to assist with your banking needs. Yep, even on weekends. It's pretty much all he talks about, in a good way. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bankguy. Capital One N.A., member FDIC. Hello and welcome to The Short Stuff. This is Josh. There's Chuck. There's Jerry. Let's get going with this edition of Short Stuff about the difference between whiskey and bourbon. Let's just talk.
Yeah, for someone who loves this stuff, I really didn't know a lot about it, and I'm glad I do now.
Yeah, there was a really big fact that we're going to get to that just knocked my socks clean off, man.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, I guess just watch my feet and you'll see which one.
I'll smell something. Are your socks off?
Hey, my feet do not smell. I take great pride in that.
All right, so we'll go ahead and tell you what whiskey is. Whiskey is a distilled spirit that you make from grain.
Right.
That is not distilled higher than 190 proof.
Yep.
And it is exposed to oak, as in, sits in an oak container.
That's whiskey.
That's whiskey. If it's higher than 190, then you're not making whiskey. You're making what you would call a neutral spirit like vodka.
Yeah, that's whiskey. So around the world, if you have Japanese whiskey, yum. If you have Irish whiskey, great. Yum. Scotch whiskey,
delicious.
Why not? They're like all of those whiskeys follow those same general guidelines or meet the same general criteria. And I don't believe there's too many laws or anything restricting types of whiskey. I'm sure there are in Scotland. But we're talking about America in this episode. And when you get to America, from what we've seen, we have like the most strict, extensive laws detailing what can be considered a type of whiskey anywhere in the world.
Yeah, it's very much regulated by the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau.
Right.
Not the ATF.
No, those firearms don't mix with whiskey very well.
No, even though I said ATF 3 times.
I think that was edited
for some
out.
reason. Oh, I know.
You called out something that nobody heard. It's like you just reached out from a different dimension.
I saw a funny tweet the other day that's been going around that says, the closest you will come to knowing what it's like to be a ghost is something like yelling at podcasters who are trying to think of something that you know.
That's amazing. That's great.
I have that same experience as a listener.
That's wonderful.
So, yes, not the ATF, the ATTTB.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be labeled whiskey in America, you got to be aged in new charred oak containers or barrels.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have a certain percentage of grain. Like if you're making rye, it has to be 51% rye.
Mm-hmm. And then, so to be whiskey anywhere in the world, it has to be aged in oak. But for specifically an American straight whiskey, like American straight rye whiskey, it has to be aged in a charred oak, either barrel or container of some sort. But it has to be charred inside first.
For at least 2 years.
Yes.
And it all has to come from the same state. It has to be distilled in the same state.
Right. So, I mean, that's it. That's the law as far as an American straight whiskey goes. And there's plenty of whiskeys that, follow that tradition or those laws, I guess. And it gets even stricter, though. Like if you add a couple more caveats to it, a couple more restrictions, a few more criteria, you suddenly have bourbon. Bourbon pops out of the mix.
That's right. So if you want to be bourbon, you have to be 51% corn. Mm-hmm. And it has to be aged in new charred oak barrels or containers.
Right, but also when you distill it, that was right.
Yeah,
I just referred to another edit we took out. It can't be distilled at anything higher than 160 proof.
That's right, because remember we said 190 for whiskey. Bourbon is down to 160.
Right, and that's just the distillation. When they start to age it, they have to drop it down even further, I believe, to something like 140.
And that they just do that with watering it down, literally watering it down, right?
Yeah, they literally water it down to, I think, 140, and then they put it in charred oak barrels for, I believe, 4 years for bourbon.
That's right. So the very popular saying, all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon, is very much true, and that's why that's the case.
Yeah.
So bourbon is 51% corn at least, doesn't go higher than 160 proof, and is charred in or it's aged in charred oak barrels below 125 proof.
Yep. And so now watch my socks, Chuck.
Okay.
You might be saying, hey, guys, you left out probably the most important part. It has to be made in Bourbon County, Kentucky, or at least Kentucky. Well, friend, you'd be wrong on both parts because bourbon can be made anywhere in the States.
Oh, did you think it had to be Kentucky?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, well, that explains
why I didn't know why your socks would be knocked off.
Right. Did you see? It was more of a curl than actually knocking off. Yeah.
All right.
But, yeah, that's what I thought for a very, very long time. But no, you can make it anywhere. And in fact, in 1964, Congress declared bourbon as, quote, America's native spirit. So Congress likey bourbon.
All right. Well, we likey takey break. And we're going to go do that right now and talk about Tennessee whiskey. And I think you know what we're talking about right after this.
Hey, everybody, here's a fact for you. In the United States, there is a break-in every 26 seconds, and that means that somewhere right now, an intruder is getting closer. And the problem with most security systems is that they only alert you after the break-in has started, and that's too late.
Well, that's what makes SimpliSafe different. They use alerts. SimpliSafe's U.S.-based live agents, they identify threats on your property and help deter them before they actually break in. So the intruder never gets into your house. The crime is stopped before it even starts.
That's right. And another great thing about SimpliSafe is they have no long-term contracts. They give you peace of mind and great value with their monitoring deterrence plans because they just start at about $1 a day.
Yeah, SimpliSafe sent us a setup years back, and I still use mine every day.
Yeah, and apparently setup, you can do it by yourself in under 30 minutes, so it's a really good value and it doesn't take long.
So if you want to experience the SimpliSafe peace of mind, you can take advantage of the SimpliSafe discount offered to Stuff You Should Know listeners. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplisafe.com/stuff. That's half off at simplisafe.com/stuff. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Work can be a little weird. One minute you're in a meeting that could have been an email. The next you're trying to decode corporate jargon that somehow means nothing. And don't even get us started on the quick sync that turns into a 45-minute deep dive.
Yeah, well, the truth is figuring out your career isn't always straightforward. Whether you're trying to grow, pivot, or just stay relevant, it can feel like you're navigating it all on your own. Well, that's where LinkedIn comes in.
That's right. LinkedIn can help you grow your career, helping you confidently navigate your path with insights, ideas, and inspiration from your professional community. You can stay up to date with the latest trends in your field, connect with people who get it, and discover opportunities tailored to your goals, your experience, and what actually matters to you.
Whether you're looking for something new or just trying to grow where you are, LinkedIn gives you the tools and connections to move forward with confidence. Because LinkedIn is the network that works for you. Visit linkedin.com/knowstuff to learn more. All right, Chuck, you said they think we know what we're talking about?
We think we know. We think, oh, jeez.
We think they know what we're talking about.
Yeah, if you're talking Tennessee whiskey, there are plenty of Tennessee whiskeys, but we'll just go ahead and say the words Jack and Daniel.
I was going to say, yeah.
That's
what I was going to say.
When you think Tennessee whiskey, you think Jack Daniel.
I mean, it says Tennessee right on the label, but it turns out that Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey, which is a straight American whiskey, you'd think that it's the only kind. It's not. That's actually, Jack Daniel's follows a specific process, a set of criterion, very similar to the same set of criterion that bourbon goes through. In fact, Jack Daniel's Tennessee American Straight Whiskey follows the same process that bourbon making does, and in fact qualifies as a bourbon, but then they add an extra step, and that's what makes it a Tennessee whiskey.
That's right. We should point out that they go all the way down to 140 proof, just as a company rule. Mm-hmm. And they always age in new charred oak barrels, and which it goes in at 125 proof or below. But then that extra step you were talking about is what they like to tout as the special ingredient, that special magic, is charcoal mellowing.
Yeah, and it's actually another name for it is the Lincoln County process after Lincoln County, Tennessee, which is where Jack Daniel's distillery used to be. But basically they take huge stacks of maple wood logs and set them on fire. And then some guy stands there with the hose and keeps it from like raging too much. And they turn that wood into charcoal. Then they take that charcoal, they pack it tightly into vats, and then they pour the distilled, unaged whiskey into those vats. And that charcoal kind of filters out some of the impurities.
Yeah, and so you're thinking, well, it goes in clear and it comes out brown because of that charcoal.
Wrong.
Yeah, that's totally wrong. And in fact, it's a little bit like you're used to these brown liquors. If you've ever had like a clear rye or something, it's a little bit of a mind tease.
Yeah, that is not what you were going to say, but yes.
You know what I mean?
Agreed. It needs to be brown, and the reason it is brown, I believe, of course, I have a terrible reputation on short stuff for just saying stuff offhand that's totally wrong, but I believe it becomes brown from the charred oak aging process.
I think that's right?
I hope so. I can't
pretty
take
sure
any
that's
more
the
emails.
case.
Okay. Man, that whole Key West thing about the necrophile who kept his wife around, but it wasn't his wife. It was some woman that
really?
He stalked as a creeper.
Oh, I didn't know that. Did you mess that up?
We've been getting a lot of emails. So sorry, everybody. We'll have to read a listener mail about it or something.
All right. Well, they basically liken this whole process to, if you've ever used a water filter, they have charcoal in there. And it's sort of a similar concept. The whiskey comes out the same color as it goes in at this point, which is clear. Mm-hmm. And this is what makes Jack Daniel different than the rest. They're the ones who use that Lincoln County process.
Right. So that's a different type of whiskey. That's Tennessee whiskey. There's bourbon, and technically Jack Daniel's qualifies as a bourbon. And bourbon, stripped of a couple of steps, would be an American straight whiskey. And there you have it. That's whiskeys. There's one other fact, though, that I had no idea about, but I thought it was a nice little touch to add it to this article. I think you got this article from How Stuff Works, right?
Yeah. Are you talking about the yeast?
Oh, no. There's two facts, everybody.
Well, I mean, if you wonder why different whiskeys, you think, well, maybe they should all taste the same. Mm-hmm. The ingredients are different. Depending on where you get the initial ingredients, it might taste different. And during the fermentation process, you're using, depending on what kind of yeast you use, that's really going to affect the flavor.
Yeah, I like that.
What is going on with us today?
I don't know. It's silly short stuff Thursday.
But at Jack Daniel, they use a yeast that they've been using the whole time. So they have this mother culture that they say dates back to Prohibition, and they've been using the same mother culture. They grow it in their lab every day, and they're like, that's why you get that special taste.
Mother Culture, it's a great band name.
Oh, it is.
So the yeast makes a big difference, but certainly, like, even if you use the same exact yeast, if you sick that yeast on rye or corn mash, it's going to produce a totally different flavor anyway. So all these different steps and different ingredients produce these different flavored whiskeys.
Right.
The other fact that I was surprised but also heartened to see is that apparently women tend to appreciate higher proof whiskeys and bourbons than men do. And supposedly there's a woman named Carrie Richardson, who's president of the Bourbon Women's Association in Louisville, Kentucky, who believes that it's because women apparently have a larger olfactory center than men, and so they're picking up more on all the stuff that's going on in these whiskey bottles than men do. And so the higher the proof, the more stuff that's going on in there, and women tend to appreciate that more.
Pretty neat.
It is pretty neat.
And I did a rare phone lookup during recording. Then, of course, there's a band called Mother Culture, at least one.
Good for them. See, they listened to us in the past.
It's like a bunch of long hairs.
That's exactly right. There's no way it was anything but, a long hair band. So one other question, Chuck. Do you like the Firewater whiskey or do you like smoother whiskey? Or both?
As in higher proof?
Yeah, but the kind that's like you can really feel it go all the way down your chest, or the kind that's just like smooth sipping whiskey.
I like both. I like the firewater because I drink it a little slower. I had a big night out on Tuesday. Emily and I went to see a band, and I got into the whiskey a little bit, and it was just it was bullet, and it was just going down so smooth.
Sure,
that's the danger. You drink it too fast, and I found myself a little hammered on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, but you're not gonna drink like high proof whiskey that's meant to just be nipped at like a show.
No, you're right.
Were you drinking it just on the rocks?
Sure.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you had.
Is there
fun.
another way?
At a show?
Yeah, like with Coke or something? Ugh.
Yeah, not Coke.
It's already sweet.
Maybe bitters and just club soda? Be good.
Sure. I mean, I guess I could have done that, but I didn't get the impression they had that kind of stuff at this venue.
I got you. Yeah. All right, well, that's it, huh?
That's it.
That's it for short stuff, as we said. That's it.
Stuff You Should Know is a production of iHeartRadio's How Stuff Works. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.